Hello everyone, this is Anushka Mann and I welcome you all to my channel. So today I'll be sharing some tips and tricks which helped me to score 99 percentile in my CAT examination, and I hope that these tips and tricks would help you too. So in order to guide you guys today, I have dug deep in my closet and I have found out these notes and registers that I made for myself during the CAT journey, and I'll teach you how you can make these for yourselves very easily and how they will benefit you in your journey of CAT preparation. So let's get started. Now, the number one tip to crack CAT, or rather any other examination in the world, is discipline and perseverance. Now, I personally feel that CAT is not just a test of IQ or intelligence. It is also a test of your perseverance, whether you are disciplined for this entire phase of your journey, because CAT is a very long journey, from preparing for the written examination to prepping for your interviews, giving your interviews, GDs, WATs, etc., and then waiting for the final merit list to arrive. So it's a very long journey. However, you've got to be very consistent at every step of this journey, and that's the real test. Because a lot of students, a lot of aspirants, they start the preparation for this particular exam, but then when the journey gets too arduous, they give up in between. And that's exactly what you're not supposed to do. So my number one advice for all of you guys is to construct a timetable for yourself and try to do the same thing at the same time every single day. Now this is an advice which one of my mentors from where I was taking the coaching used to give me time and again, and this is the best advice in the world for cracking any examination. You've got to do the same thing every day at the same time every single day for the entire journey, and that is what we call discipline. So basically this is a test of your perseverance, and and also a test of if you are disciplined on this journey or not. If you are able to be consistent with yourself and with your timetable every single day, I think you'll be doing wonders in this CAT examination. Now for me, I started preparing for CAT examination in July. So basically I had mostly just 4 months at hand for preparation, because you don't really study anything in the month of November, that's just for revision. So just 4 months at hand, I had to utilize every single day. So to make sure that I didn't waste time, so that I didn't waste any single day, what I used to do was I had these little chits with myself. So every night before going to sleep, I used to write like all the things that I'll be covering up in the syllabus the very next morning, so that the next day when I wake up, I have a set of things to do. I will have a pre-planned to-do list, and I'll not waste time deciding what should I study on that particular day. Because it used to happen with me that I used to wake up in the morning initially, and then I used to wonder, ye pad lu, wo pad lu, should I study this, should I study that, and that used to take a lot of energy and it used to waste a lot of time. So what I used to do was every night before going to sleep, I used to take a little chit, and I used to write at least 1 to 2 topics that I was gonna cover the starting very next morning. So the next day when I woke up, the first thing that I did was I used to look at that to-do list, and I used to stick that to-do list over here on this door. Oh my god, so nostalgic. So I used to stick it over there, and every morning when I woke up, I knew what I had to do, and there was no time that was wasted. Another thing that I did was, so as to keep a track of the days that I was left with, and also to not waste time, to keep myself motivated at all times, that was I made this little chart wherein I wrote the number of days which were left till CAT examination in descending order, like 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45, 44. So every night before going to sleep, I used to put a cross on that particular date. So there was this A4 size sheet, I drew certain boxes in it, and I divided it in terms of months. So one sheet for October, one sheet for November, and on that I had written the days that were left till CAT examination in descending order. So how this helped me was that suppose today I woke up and I did nothing the entire day. I just wasted time. So generally what happens is that you would while going to sleep you'll feel a little guilty about not doing a lot of things, about procrastinating, but then you'll say हाँ कल कर लेंगे, and कल वो कभी आता ही नहीं है, and then you realize that एकदम से you just wake up and you realize that it's the CAT examination right in front of you. So to avoid that, I used to put a cross on every passing day before going to sleep. So that kind of, kept giving me a reality check and a push forward that, I'm running short of days and I should make use of every single hour, every single day that I've got to do. So these were two of the main things that I used to do consistently throughout the preparation. I had stuck both the sheets of paper on this door right here. I think I still have a mark of the tape left over here, the glue. So these were two of the things. Moving on, one of the things that I suggest to all the people who ever ask me for advice is that you should make separate notebooks or registers for every section of CAT examination. So today I brought out my notebooks and registers and I'll show you what I had done for myself and what helped me. First and foremost, and the most important register that every CAT aspirant should make, and the ones who haven't made it yet should start doing it right today, is this formula notebook right over here. As you can see, I've labeled it neatly, and over here, if you can see, I have these tags. This is for I don't know what is this, algebra, arithmetic, and geometry, modern maths, and we have number systems. So my humble advice is to all the CAT aspirants that do not miss out making a formula notebook, because when you will be nearing your CAT examination, you realize that you don't have time to flip through pages of your notes again and again and to revise everything again. You need a formula notebook for quick revision. And also before giving mocks, before giving every mock, you will not have time to just go through your entire set of notes. You need something for quick revision so that all the formulas are fresh in your mind. So for that, you can create this sort of formula notebook. So I'll show you what I did inside. Suppose I open the section of algebra. So I had written all the formulas over here very neatly. Please make this notebook very neat. Otherwise, you will not feel like opening it and reading it. This is for yourself. So it doesn't matter what kind of handwriting you have, whether or not you put these colorful stickers. I just did that because I enjoyed doing it. You might not do that, but at least, make it very, very neatly, so that when you open your register, you will feel good about it, that you will feel like studying it. ऐसा नहीं हो कि ऐसा लग रहा है कि बिल्कुल ही rough notebook है, कबाड़ वाली. So please make it very, very neatly. So in here I have written all the formulas that I had, linear equations, quadratic and everything, and similarly for geometry as well. So let's see all these formulas. So formula notebook, very, very important. For BARC, I made this notebook wherein I used to write all the tips and tricks for solving para jumbles, and for solving the para summaries, and also every new word that I encountered while preparing for my CAT examination. I used to note them down like that as power vocabulary. So this was my BARC notebook, which was the most interesting one to revise because I love English, I love languages. So again, my vocabulary words, some tips for solving RCs, some rules, Now this is a very subjective thing. You should modify it and add stuff based on what you need for your CAT preparation. So again, lots of formula words. When you write these when you write these vocabulary words, they sort of get embedded in your mind, and time and again, as you're flipping pages, you sort of, it's like a revision of all the words that you've done so far. So this is my, and also there's one more thing that I used to do, that suppose if I'm solving these para jumbles, so whenever I made a mistake in the para jumble questions, I used to write the pointer that what exactly was the mistake that I made in that question. So I used to do this for all the wrong answers, a lot of them, so that the next time I have that question fresh in my mind and I'm aware that okay, last time I did this mistake and this time I won't be repeating it. Coming to quant section. So for quant section, again, I had separate notebooks for different subjects. Like for arithmetic, I had one, for algebra, I had one, for geometry, one. Now for those of you guys who might be willing to not do all the topics of quants whatsoever, but I would suggest that at least for geometry, arithmetic and algebra, you should make separate registers, and you should be, writing all the notes and your personal tips and tricks to solve questions in that particular registers, all the important questions that you feel are very important, which might help you in revision as well, because these three topics are the one which cover a vast portion of the quant section. So whenever you will attempt mocks, or even if you will see the previous year question papers, you will see that these three topics cover majority of the part of the quant section. So it's very important that you don't skip them. In fact, you are not supposed to skip these three topics for the very least. You should have them on your tips. So for these three, I would recommend that you make a separate register. Like for myself, for example, I have this arithmetic register wherein I used to note down the not just the formulas but also the questions and how I solved those questions. If any of my teachers taught me something that I learned on YouTube, I used to note them down again, so that while I'm revising, these little things would help me and I'll not have to go through everything all over again, all my notes and videos again. So this was like a quick revision, and it really helped before every mock and also during the CAT. As the CAT exam was nearing, they were very helpful. Next up is DILR. So in case of DILR, I had this separate notebook where I used to note down the different kinds of questions, different categories of questions that I used to come across while preparing for DILR, so that I know that how I should approach different categories of questions in this particular section. For example, I have pie charts over here. So I did a couple of questions and I wrote a couple of things about how I should approach questions pertaining to pie charts. Then I had caselets. Caselets are very common in DILR. You might find them you'll find them most probably. Scheduling and analytical puzzles. So basically, you've got to do a lot of variety, round robin tournaments and stuff. So basically, you've got to do a lot of variety of questions when it comes to DILR, and make sure you have a separate notebook wherein you note down your personal approach which you like the most to approach these questions. One more notebook that I would suggest you to make is to make a register for your mocks. So while you are analyzing mocks, first of all, analysis of mocks is the most important part, even more important than giving multiple mocks. It's very important that you give a certain number of mocks, but make sure you analyze them properly. Then make a separate register and note down the mistakes and the questions that you were not able to solve, or you could have solved differently in a quicker manner or something. So make sure you have a separate register for that as well. Please कंजूसी मत कीजिए when it comes to making different notebooks. Please don't be lazy that who's gonna make so many notebooks. I'll have just one register and उसके आगे से आपने इसके notes बना लिए, पीछे से किसी और चीज़ के notes बना लिए. Please don't do that. And last but not the least, please stay very motivated in this entire journey. Now I know that as the time proceeds and as the CAT exam will come closer and closer, your anxieties would rise. There will be moments when you will doubt yourself whether you are fit for this or not, or whether you will be able to do this or not. But just remember that you have had a dream in your eyes, and that's why you have put yourself into this position where you have decided to take up this challenge. And you have come so far. You have worked for all those days, all those months, and you just can't give up in between. Just see, at least see through the end of it, कि ये तो देखो कि क्या पता उसके बाद कुछ अच्छा हो जाए. Because I had this mentor of mine who used to repeat this again and again, कुछ तो अच्छा हो ही जाएगा. Because no amount of hard work that you're putting in, no amount of effort that you're putting in is gonna go waste. So I suggest you all guys to keep your spirits high, to not give up at all in between this journey, and stay motivated, stay healthy, and I wish you guys all the best. So if you have any questions, you can comment them below, and I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. So see you in the next video. Goodbye.